In a world filled with conflict and the constant threat of war, have you ever wondered how we can prevent these devastating conflicts and build a lasting peace? While wars have shaped history, there are extraordinary measures individuals and nations can take to prevent the outbreak of war and foster a world of lasting peace. Join us as we uncover the powerful strategies to resist the destructive forces of war and build a brighter future for all. Ready to explore the path to peace? Let's dive in, shall we? Number 1. Redefining the enemy. Can we reshape the idea of an enemy and, in doing so, rewrite the course of conflict? By challenging the conventional notion of an enemy, we open doors to a world where the dynamics of war are transformed. Enemies become adversaries, individuals, or groups with differing goals, but also the potential for understanding and collaboration. Competitors are not just opponents, but catalysts for growth and improvement. Partnerships can emerge from the unlikeliest of sources, forging alliances that benefit all parties involved. Teachers are those from whom we learn, even in the harshest of circumstances, gaining wisdom and resilience. And in the end, we arrive at the idea of equals, where conflicts are resolved through dialogue and cooperation rather than confrontation. This radical shift in perspective challenges the traditional narrative of war and animosity. It invites us to reconsider the way we approach conflicts, both on a personal and global scale. By transforming enemies into these various roles, we aim to minimize hostility and maximize the potential for mutual understanding and resolution. Number 2. The importance of respect. Respect, the cornerstone of conflict resolution, is our focus here. By comprehending the power of treating all parties with respect, we discover a potent force capable of dismantling the very barriers that sustain conflict. Respect is not just a courtesy, but a formidable tool that enables meaningful dialogue. It acknowledges the humanity in every individual, regardless of their stance. When we respect our adversaries, we lay the foundation for communication that transcends hostilities. This chapter explores the profound impact of respect on conflict resolution. It serves as a bridge across the divides that separate us. By respecting the other side, we acknowledge their perspectives, histories, and aspirations. This empathetic approach can lead to shared understanding and the forging of common ground. In a world often characterized by polarization, respect emerges as a unifying force. It reminds us that beneath our differences lie shared values and aspirations. It compels us to listen and learn from one another, even in the face of vehement disagreement. Number 3. Confronting injustice. Can the recognition of shared injustices serve as the cornerstone for ending conflict? We confront a fundamental aspect of conflicts worldwide: perceived injustices. We delve into the transformative power of acknowledging these grievances, as they can mark the inception of reconciliation. Injustices, whether real or perceived, have the potential to ignite and perpetuate conflicts. They fester in the hearts and minds of those who feel wronged, fueling resentment and a thirst for retribution. But what if, instead of fueling conflict, these injustices became the catalyst for resolution? It sheds light on how this acknowledgement can shift the course of conflicts that seem unending. By validating the grievances of all parties involved, we pave the way for understanding, empathy, and ultimately reconciliation. Acknowledging injustices is not a sign of weakness, but of strength and wisdom. It signifies a commitment to truth, healing, and the pursuit of a just peace. When both sides recognize the wrongs committed and suffered, it fosters a sense of common humanity that transcends divisions. Number 4. The courage of forgiveness. Is forgiveness an act of weakness, or does it harbor the immense strength required to end even the most dire conflicts? In this chapter, we explore the transformative power of forgiveness. emphasizing that it is an act of unparalleled courage rather than vulnerability. In the midst of conflict, the desire for revenge often simmers, fueling a never-ending cycle of violence and retribution. But what if, instead of seeking vengeance, we chose the path of forgiveness? What if we dared to break the chains of anger and resentment, setting ourselves free and opening the door to reconciliation? It highlights how relinquishing the thirst for revenge can be the cornerstone of lasting resolution. Forgiveness is not a surrender, but a mighty declaration that the desire for peace surpasses the urge for retaliation. We invite you to explore how forgiveness can mend the deepest of wounds, heal the most profound divisions, and transform adversaries into allies. It is an act that requires immense courage to face the pain, to let go of hatred, and to embrace the possibility of a better future. Forgiveness isn't about forgetting or condoning the wrongs committed. It's about breaking the cycle of hatred and violence. It takes strength to seek understanding rather than vengeance, to choose reconciliation over conflict. Number 5. Abandoning belligerence. In the tumultuous landscape of conflict, belligerence often seems like a natural response. It's easy to fall into the trap of aggression, believing that it's the only way to assert one's interests. However, what if we challenged this assumption? What if, instead of escalating hostilities, we chose the path of diplomacy? It invites you to reconsider the true foundations of conflict resolution, diplomacy, empathy, and compassion. These qualities are not signs of weakness, but powerful tools for building bridges and finding common ground. Diplomacy, often seen as a sign of strength, involves listening, understanding, and seeking common solutions. Empathy allows us to see the humanity in our adversaries, fostering connection rather than division. Compassion is the catalyst for lasting peace, as it transcends the barriers of anger and resentment. Abandoning belligerence is not an act of surrender, but a declaration of wisdom and resilience. It takes courage to resist the allure of aggression and to embrace the transformative potential of peaceful conflict resolution. Number 6. The language of emotions. How often do our emotions become the battleground for conflicts? In this chapter, we shift our gaze to emotional intelligence as the cornerstone of effective conflict resolution. Emotions run deep in the realm of conflicts, often intensifying tensions and complicating resolutions. We ask, can we transform this emotional turbulence into a bridge for understanding? The power of acknowledging and validating the emotions of the other side. It's not about agreement, but recognition, a simple acknowledgement that emotions exist and matter. Emotional intelligence emerges as the beacon that can guide us through tumultuous waters. It's the ability to perceive, understand, and manage emotions, ours and others. By engaging in this emotional dialogue, we move beyond the surface of issues to the core of human experience. By recognizing and validating emotions, we take the first step in bridging the emotional divide. We open a channel for empathy and compassion, allowing both sides to be heard and understood. It's a departure from the rigidity of conflict, an entry into the realm of shared humanity. Emotions, often considered a source of conflict, can become the conduit for peace. This point challenges us to consider, can we harness the language of emotions to build bridges rather than walls? Can we transform emotional turmoil into a force for understanding and resolution? Number 7. Confronting fear. In the theater of conflict, fear is a recurring character, driving actions and decisions on both sides of the stage. In this chapter, we turn our attention to this universal emotion and ask, can understanding and addressing our fears become the key to dismantling the walls that divide us? Fear, often unspoken but profoundly felt, is a formidable barrier to resolution. It casts shadows on reason, fuels mistrust, and deepens divides. What if, instead of allowing fear to be the architect of conflict, we made it the cornerstone of our reconciliation? By shining a light on these shared fears, we unveil a path toward common ground. Confronting fear doesn't diminish our strength. It fortifies our resolve. Number 8. Liberation from being right. In conflicts, we often want to prove we're right. But what if, instead of fighting to be right, we aimed for peace and cooperation? Trying to be right all the time can stop us from finding solutions. It keeps us arguing endlessly. But what if we stopped trying to win and focused on finding common ground? This suggests we let go of the need to be right. It asks us to be humble and see that real success isn't in proving our point, but in building connections and understanding others. In conclusion, the road to peace is built on empathy, understanding, and the courage to resist the destructive allure of war. These principles empower us all to not only resist war, but to construct a world where peace prevails. The power to de-escalate rests within each of us. Join us on this journey towards a more peaceful world. And that's it for this video. Please click the like and subscribe buttons down below if you found this interesting. To make sure you don't miss any uploads, tap the bell icon, share the video, and provide all of your feedback in the comments section. See you in the next one.